What if I told you that as a business development professional or marketer, you could use your copywriting skills to make a fortune for your community and an extremely good six-figure income for yourself? Hi, I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. The skill of copywriting in application is business development and marketing. Sure, you can use your words that sell to persuade individuals to do what you want and to move forward with goals and objectives. However, it is more powerful to use these skills to drive forward growth in business, actual monetary growth in business. And how do you do this? Well, you simply build a book of business where you're helping clients grow quickly and easily using words that sell. These are marketing clients. Now, what structure do you use? Well, many copywriters are independent contractors, and the best model for them to use is a consulting services company. Now, here's what I often hear. Clients will say to me, I'm just one person. I have a personal assistant. I don't have a services perspective. I just do consulting because all I really can handle from a time perspective is to share advice with a client. Now, here's the problem with that. You and I know that clients don't do what they've been given to do. I've been recording podcasts, writing articles, creating special reports, creating training materials and toolkits. Thousands of people have interacted with my materials, but it's only 1 or 2% that take any action. It's the same way with anything else. You look around your office. How many books do you have? How many resources do you have? How many insights do you have that are not used because of time, because of monetary resources, because you kind of forgot? Maybe there was a medical issue and you've been distracted. It's the day after Christmas. Maybe the holidays have taken you away from growing your business. What if there was a way that you could engineer the world around your business so that whether or not you're able to physically interact, you're growing that business, you're growing that book of business, you're bringing on new clients, you're getting the business growing, you're helping the clients grow. Now here's, and you're likely very aware of this, here's one of those leverage points. The leverage point is copy that sells. Being able to write a sales letter that you test in a marketplace and you know works, so you've created a control, that gives your clients such leverage that they can reach a much larger customer base. Now, in the case of the marketing consultant, the business development professional, the copywriter, it is possible to use that leverage to create too many customers. I know some of you guys are struggling, and when I say create too many customers, you're like thinking you just like to create a few customers. But my point being is, if you had 50 copywriting assignments today and you're struggling to get 1 or 2 copywriting assignments out the door, then that's not good. You'd have too many business missed expectations and frustration with your customers. But what if there was a way to syndicate your knowledge and to leverage your skills to do for the customer those things that they need to get done and grow your book of business so that the level of your expertise has greater value in the marketplace? Let me break that down for you. A lot of folks are talking about local business marketing, social media, pay-per-click, that kind of thing. Now, the reason that's so popular today, and I'm not saying it's effective at use, a hammer works well in the hands of a craftsman and doesn't work well in the hands of a fool. But my point being, though, is the reason those are so popular is because you can white label those. You may not be familiar with what white label is, but it's essentially a joint venture between you, the marketer, and a service organization that does the work. I've even noticed that bookkeeping is now being outsourced by QuickBooks, the Intuit company who offers QuickBooks. This is the constant commoditization of companies today. I've interacted with advertising agencies that do business for a number of independent contractors under a joint venture or a cooperative or referral arrangement. But ultimately what this means is you're not limited by your number of hours in a day. You're not limited by your individual skills at implementation. You're not implemented by the people you can hire to put in your office. Because in this worldwide economy, you can collect the best talent of the world and bring them together for a client to get work done. Now, this is a skill that goes beyond just being able to write words that sell. This is a skill that includes project management. This is a skill that includes leadership. And this is a skill that includes having a larger and higher insight so that you make the greatest value out of the fewest number of resources. Obviously, if there's an infinite number of web developers out there and you could hire web developers super cheap like you can do today, having more of them doesn't mean the project goes faster. See, you've got to be that differentiating factor that takes a portfolio of business or a book of business and manages that portfolio to create maximum value for your clients, to create customers and clients who pay, stay, and refer, and to leverage. So your job is to find the leverage points that solve the bigger problems that take those businesses to the next level. Many of the readers and the subscribers at Ad Briefing Copywriting Tips, they are helping $0 to $1 million businesses. Well, what if you could scale up so that your businesses or potential clients that are under 500,000 are interacted with in a more automated fashion? The clients that are 500,000 to $1 million in gross revenues a year, they might get a little more interaction, but they don't get your full-time attention. And then those clients who are $1 million plus, they get your attention because they can pay 5-figure fees. They can pay on retainer. They can pay for larger projects. And you work what Harvey Brody called the toll booth position, where you own a customer base and you own the vendors supporting that customer base, and you connect the two for some kind of referral fee or joint venture agreement, equity. There's like 1,000 different ways to get paid for it. In fact, I have a program that's called How to Get Paid, and it talks about retainer programs and many of the different ways to get your money. In fact, there's all this money floating around in the economy that wants to go somewhere, and it always tends to go to the person who organizes, the person who brings together resources to create maximum value and results. Dan Kennedy talks about that in his opportunity programs. The person who brings the players to the table, coordinates and organizes the outcome. They're the ones that get the maximum reward. And that's what your book of business becomes. In my case, I call it my private clients. I've got 3 to 5 private clients over the course of the year at any given time that get my maximum attention. And that's because they're paying 5 and 6 figures for that privilege. What is it for your business? A book of business in the insurance world is basically a number of contracts and agreements. Do you have contracts for ongoing services to your clients? And have you backfilled that with qualified contractors in your marketplace? See, the mental block for a lot of business development professionals, marketers, and copywriters is thinking they have to do it all themselves. Even Gary Halbert talked about hiring cub copywriters. And there's many examples of Gary Halbert, Jay Abraham, all these marketers you guys look up to, all these marketers that you're thinking, I'd really like to be Jay Abraham one day. Well, guess what? There's more to being Jay Abraham than just simply being Jay Abraham. There's the character he's created. There's the network of lead and referral mechanisms. There's the individuals that he can trust to put together a good rough draft for him. There's his copywriting swipe file. Here's something that always gets me. A lot of copywriters brag on their website that they write all the copy themselves. And it just blows my mind. I don't know how that's a benefit. I would much rather start with the basis of a number of controls or a number of proven copywriters and have this stable of resources to get together my client the very best possible solution in the shortest amount of time. Now, that means swipe files in your industry. When I approach a client, I know everything there is to know about their industry. In fact, that's why I narrow my scope to a few industries. But ultimately, I go in there with knowledge that would take them years to accumulate. And in fact, I don't just dump this on them. I ask them the right questions. I ask them about the resources they're already using. I ask them about the best players on their team. And I don't just mean human players on the team. I mean, what's the best sales funnel that creates customers? Let's look at the costs. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the value. I bring intelligence to them. And that's very often why I describe myself more as a business analyst rather than a marketer, or a strategic consultant rather than just a generic consultant. And you can make the change too. But imagine if you're able to bring to the table the right resources at the right time and apply it in a marketplace where your customer grows leaps and bounds. And now you end up with clients who can pay, stay, and refer. You end up with clients that are bragging about how you brought to them what was necessary to take them to the next level. Now, again, I described a function of optimization. 0 to 500,000 a year clients, they get a more automated approach. They maybe get a prospect newsletter. They get, email marketing to them, social media and retargeting. But your clients from 500,000 to $1 million, they might get a phone call periodically. They might be the subject of a teleseminar or a webinar. And then, of course, your clients that are paying to have your attention at $1 million or more, they are your complete focus. Now, this doesn't mean you're ignoring this broader spectrum of clients. I've had clients that made $400,000 a year for 10 years, and they're struggling, and they're around the clock working, and they've got medical problems because of this, and they just happen to be in my Toastmasters club and a good friend of mine, and I said, look, I'll help you get to the next level. And out of 6 months of effort, we were able to produce $1.8 million in received revenue. Now, it took their business from $441,000 a year to over $1 million a year in a 6-month period of effort. Now, I ended up getting a good income from that. I ended up brokering other relationships that grew my book of business. But over the years, working with this client on and off, they were able to grow to a $22 million business. Now, why was it that for 10 years they struggled? Why was it for 10 years the owner only took home $400 a month because he had tied his expectation of growth to what he should be taking home? He was basically taking home 10% of the business over the course of divided over the months. But what was stopping him? Well, you might not be aware, but when your clients are struggling to grow their business, when they don't have copy that sells, when they don't have a marketing plan or a system for implementing marketing efforts, when they don't know what it means to develop your business both on the bottom line and on the top line, they very often will get this funnel vision. They'll get this focus on one or two things, and periodically shiny objects will run by them, and they'll get distracted, but then they'll get back on focus, and this year's going to be different, and they really get into this addictive cycle of non-success. Now, when somebody like you comes along who has business development skills, who has marketing skills, who can look at a business and say, hey, look, you're close, but you just need to do these 3 things, that company, you're just another distraction to them. But when you can take them by the hand and you can cultivate that relationship and you can help them implement those things that are necessary to grow a business, they're able to grow fast, you're able to grow fast. Not only that, as they grow, they are ecstatic about how you finally unlock the key to their business growth. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of businesses out there today who are struggling day to day, but when you look at it as a fresh set of eyes, and this is why you're so valuable in the marketplace, when you see it with a fresh set of eyes, you're going to look at that business and say, you know what? I recognize that business model. And a matter of fact, here is marketing copy from other businesses that are non-competitive, that are in other regions, that did simple steps and got results that you desire. And as that fresh set of eyes, you can see, hey, look, you need to talk to this guy, and this guy's going to come over. Now, that's a mistake a lot of people make. You can't tell them to go talk to somebody because remember, if you're a distraction, they're on the way to go talk to the other person, just going to get distracted again. It's just the way it works. And I know distraction. I had to turn the volume off on my computer because there's some Outlook's doing some crazy meeting notice things from meetings from like 2 months ago. I don't know what the hell's going on. But my point being, if you cultivate the relationship and able to take them by the hand and educate them and show them how this way is different. And I know what you've done in the past. I've seen your struggles, and you're going to have a dialogue with the customer so that you can understand those struggles. But look, that was then, this is now, and here's how you move forward. If you're already in a toll booth position, you can not just introduce them to people, but you can broker the relationship and take a percentage of the deal. If you're in joint venture agreements or cooperative marketing arrangements, you can actually bring them on as a member and they pay in, and now they get results far beyond what their share could possibly buy on its own. If you've got questions about what I'm describing here, because some of these could be foreign terms to you, you might be so down into the weeds of copywriting, you might not realize that a good campaign can actually cost more than a bad campaign because the customer would get too many new customers. I know that blows some people's minds, but it is possible to get more business than you can handle. And then to get into that frustrated state and then get into the blinders. I just got to focus, and then miss out on the opportunity. What I'm calling you to today is being able to have the relationship to walk over to the customer and take them by the hand and say, look, I understand what's going on. You need to come do this. Step 1. You need to come do this. Step 2. And look at this. We've got results now. And then helping them frame in place the support systems, the service providers, staff training, and other resources. And if this hasn't clicked in your mind yet today, you need to listen to this program again, because what we're exactly setting up here is a continual long-term flow of customer income from a more narrow scope or a smaller portfolio of business. And it's extremely powerful because it means you as a consultant continues to grow, your clients continue to grow, and you start developing an ecosystem around you that helps you attract clients that pay, stay, and refer. If you've got questions about this or any other program, I'm Justin Hitt from AdBriefing's Copywriting Tips. You can visit us at www.adbriefings.co.uk, and you'll find a little button down there in the lower right-hand corner where you can ask your questions. Now, I'm not going to sit there and chat with you, so ask questions that really focus on getting the results that you're looking for. We'll answer those questions in our Q&A sessions, on this podcast, or through content on the site. But most importantly, I'd like to show you a model that attracts high-value, high-profit clients who grow, who profit from your intelligence, who are sincerely thankful that you've taken them out of that rut and moved them forward to the next level of growth in their business. Again, I'm Justin Hitt with AdBriefing's Copywriting Tips. We're here to help you transform your business with copy that sells.